Hey there, my fellow lunatics, and welcome to Dakon's Madhouse. Hey there, lunatics. Today we are going to make an ocean tentacle mob farm. Now, this mob farm is going to require that we have some hazmat gear because we're going to be using radiation crystals in this build. So be sure to go to the Brave Merchant and pick yourself up a full suit of hazmat gear so that you're immune to radiation damage while you're dealing with this. Now this mob farm is taking up 8 total spawn cells, and I'm using up every single tile within all 8 spawn cells. So we're not separating or splitting things like I do in some farms. We're just going to go ahead and we're going 4 down, we're going 2 wide, and we're going to fill everything up in here. Now if you're not familiar with how spawn cells work, check out my video on mob farming and spawn cell guide. Its link is in the description. It's going to help you out a lot with this build. Now, ocean tentacle mobs are not going to spawn anywhere except the sunken sea, so you have to make sure that when you build this whole setup, that you put all of this into the sunken sea. And you can tell you're in the sunken sea when you open your map. It lets you know in the top right corner. If you don't put this farm in the sunken sea, your mobs will not spawn. So for this farm, you are going to need 52 radiation crystals, 200 electrical wires, 616 conveyor belts, 16 electrical generators, 624 robot arms, and a double chest of your choice. You're also going to need walls of any kind to surround the mob farm. I'm using desert temple blocks. Use whatever you prefer. Just make sure you have enough to cover up the entire farm. Now this farm needs ocean tiles in order to be able to spawn the ocean tentacles. The thing is you need to also make sure that you can harvest everything because the ocean tentacle mobs are going to drop the loot on top of the water. So because of this, we are only having areas that are 1 tile in size, essentially. 2 in this case, but we've only got 1 tile on one side and 1 tile on the other, so that we can make sure that all of our robot arms are placed. And the robot arms are being placed on the white tiles that I have here. But all the robot arms will be placeable and cover over one of the water tiles. Let's take a quick look at the spawn chart, and you'll see that if you're along the coastal water section for these tentacles, they have a much higher spawn chance than in the middle of the open ocean. This is another reason why we're only going with the 1 tile water, because that makes every single one of these tiles a coastal tile. And you only need 90 water tiles in order to have a 99% spawn chance per spawn cell. So this is something that we can easily pull off. And even if we aren't getting the full 90, we're getting pretty close. And so the spawn odds are just exactly where we need them to be. Now, you don't have to color code your blocks like I am, but this is the general layout that I've got just to kind of help give me a visual representation of what we're doing here. So to kind of help you see what it is exactly we're doing, let me just show off what we're doing here. We've got a water tile. We've got 2 water tiles right here. And we're placing 2 mechanical arms above them. We've also got water on the left. And we're going to be placing all of our mechanical arms going down over the water tiles. Same thing on the right here. You're going to have some facing this way, and they're going to go over the water tiles. Now this dirt tile that I have right here, this is where you're placing your radiation crystal. And you're going to do that on all of these 2 square dirt blocks that I have set up. And then in the kind of maze ground area that I have, the dark gray, that's your conveyor belt section. So you're going to have your conveyor belts coming up. In my case, they come up because my central area is right here. So I want everything moving toward my central area. So on both sides, you've got the conveyors moving up. And then you want to have them also going in a direction. They don't have to go in the same direction, but you're going to need them to be at least going either to the right, to the left, or have 1 moving right, 1 moving left like this. We've got our robot arms right here. And then we've also got these 2 tiles that I'm standing on right now. that don't really have anything. Most of the time, these are going to get blocked off, but every now and then we're going to need to put in some power. So these spots have been put in so that if we need extra power, we have room for them. Like further down, about halfway down, you know, we're going to end up putting a generator down on one of them. And we also need to make sure that we're powering everything. So let me show you how all of this is going to look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my robot arms and I am going to put them down in these 2 white tiles above each one of my pools that I have set up here. Once you've got this set of robot arms down, then we can go ahead and place down the radioactive crystals. Those go basically just, you've got your gap of water, and then you've got your radioactive crystal. So 2 robot arms, gap of water, radioactive crystal. And you're going to do that down all the sides. Now once that's done, we're going to come down to right below the second radiation crystal. We're going to place down our first electrical generator. And we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. We're going to go right below the third crystal from the bottom. We're going to place another generator. And we're going to go ahead and go up 4 more crystals. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to place the next one in the middle. It doesn't matter if you're off a little bit. That's fine. But once you've placed down your electrical generators, you're going to put a wire next to it, and then you're going to put 2 wires next to that. What we're doing here is we're getting power to the outer robot arms when we put them in place. But we still need to power our inner robot arms as well. So with that, you're going to pick a side, either the left-hand side, the right-hand side, it really doesn't matter. And you're just going to place down wiring pretty much down the whole thing. And that is going to connect power to all of your inner wires. It's also going to connect power to all of your outer wires as well. Repeat this process on all of these sections. Now on all the tiles right underneath the radiation crystal that you did not put an electrical generator, you are going to put a wall. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our conveyor belts and pick a direction, basically left or right, and we are going to go behind the robot arms, and we are going to just put 2 tiles of conveyor belts behind each robot arm. Next step is more conveyor belts. This time we're going to be going up and down. So again, in my case, I want everything to be pushed up toward the middle section here where my waypoint is. Therefore, all of my conveyor belts along the sides are going to have the arrow pointed up, and they're going to come all right next to the crystals, the robot arms, everything else, and everything is going to be going up. Just make sure you repeat this on both sides and in every single section. Now we need to handle the outer robot arms. So go ahead and grab your robot arms, and the first set, you're going to want to make sure that is facing the left. So basically what you're doing is just making sure that the claw part is over the water. And just place everything down. And you'll also just want to check them all and make sure that they're getting power. You'll notice that a few of them aren't getting much power until we get it all connected to the wires. But just double check that everything's powered properly. If you run into any power issues, just rearrange the exact positioning of your electrical generators until you're able to make sure that everything is fully powered. Once every single robot arm is in place, you're going to want to get a few extra conveyor belts, and you may have to craft some more. I don't think I counted these properly in my original numbering. But then you're going to, at the very top from the leftmost conveyor belt, You're going to be heading toward the right, and you're just going to make sure that you've got everything being pushed to a single spot. And you can designate what that single spot is. In my case, I am going to choose this one right here. And this is going to be the up point where everything connects to the wall. So then I'm going to have all my next set of conveyors going left. And they're all going to connect to this one spot right here. And this is where I'm going to have another robot arm just one gap away right there. Put the chest behind it. Put a generator next to it so that it has power. And now I'm going to take my walls and I'm going to start filling in and surrounding my entire base here. I want this entire mob farm to be completely covered up. And this is our sea tentacle mob farm. Every single square that has a sea tentacle spawn point has a robot arm on it to be able to grab that loot that we get, move it onto the conveyor belt, and take it over to the loot zone. The entire series of spawn chunks are all covered up by radiation crystals, so anything that spawns in here is going to take damage, it's going to die. You don't have to worry about anything surviving and just kind of sitting there taking up a spawn point. Now, what kind of loot are we going to get from this? Well, let's take a quick look. This farm will drop octarine ore, coral wood, the tentacle whip, the tentacle figurine, and seashells. And that's everything for this farm video. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. Please hit that like button if you did. Subscribe for more content so you don't miss anything. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay happy, stay healthy, but above all, stay crazy.